There's certain guys in the field that, although everyone wants to be friends with everyone, there are certain guys in the field that put extra pressure on themselves to win races and win weekends and win championships. And they'll be your best bud. They will lend you tools. They will lend you whatever you need. But on track, they want to beat you real bad.
Are you one of those people?
Yes. Yes. I have a sickness for competition, I think. And I don't care if I'm racing for the win or racing for 10th, really. The competition really is, I think, what drives me to keep doing this. Eric, do we do this for the people or for the competition?
Oh, for the people, for sure.
He's so full of shit. Wednesday night. What day is today? Saturday? Wednesday night, this car didn't have a cylinder head on it. Crazy, like it seemed so many times like it wasn't going to work out at all, and then here we are. Not because of me. That's Unit 2 Fab and the boys right there. They are on another planet. When you get down into turn 1, race 1, you've never been to a place before, some of that video and sim time goes out the window because now you've got a car forcing you offline. Now you got to figure it out, and that really adds something extra. I got to the inside of Eric Meadows into 3. I was like, hungry dog, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him here. Well, I'm not gonna get him here because he's gonna have the inside for the next corner, and he's gonna have the inside for the next corner. Not only did I not pass Eric Meadows, but I got passed by Maton as well, so I lost 2 spots because of it. First, you have to figure out how to not crash. Then you have to figure out how to be fast. Then you have to figure out how to race it. Figuring out how to race a track, once you have the pace, is just as important as figuring out how to go fast. The top 5 cars, top 8, top 12 cars in a GLTC field, none of them are easy to pass. No one's gonna let you have it. Best battle I had all year. Eric and Maton and everything, we were just, oh, it was sick. It was sick. No, if you're a competitive person, you want to win everything you go into, no matter what. I'm a fairly competitive person. When you are racing and you don't necessarily set a record or you don't get a win, you're still having good battles. There's so much more to a weekend. If you don't win races 1 through 3, you could win the invert race at the end of the weekend. There's so many more possibilities to kind of add something to the weekend.
Are they early by any chance?
No?
Because I got a lineup going out there. The Tom's up in the clear already.
What time is it?
That's what we should do.
We should go down there and bring everyone an ice cream. In race 1, when I tried to pass Eric Meadows, I probably had like 12 flying laps at this track in my life. In the next race, you have to think about that. And you have to think, well, where am I going to go? Choosing where it's actually possible to make a pass. So where you're going to be the absolute closest so you can get a good run out of a corner and maybe make that pass. Looking for mistakes, maybe, in other competitors. Maton's car just, maybe that weight. So it's a lot of, as you're saying, back and forth here. That's putting a lot of energy and heat into your tires. I just saw him fading a bit, and the one lap in the S's, it just looked like, I don't know if he was getting a bit comfortable, maybe a little bit slower. If I hadn't noticed that, I might have just been kind of keep on running my line, what I was just kind of happy with, right? But because of that, I kind of was aware of what was happening there, and I'm like, well, I've got to do everything I can to close this up because his car is not, the happiest in the S's right now. At the same time, I knew that in the second S, Tom was very, very fast. So I knew if I was going to make a move there, it either had to be a real move or I was probably going to lose second. Knew that there were certain spots where it might have been safer, and I knew that that was a high-risk spot right there where I was trying to pass him. I don't think he realized that I was going to be there, and I think he looked, and I was just able to shove it to the outside and get a tiny, tiny bit of overlap, and that allowed us to get way up beside him on the outside of the next S, and then big curb jump and into turn 12. In that next sector, we were able to clear him. I guess Tom got through at that same point there. The juice was worth the squeeze, and it ended up working out. You know, I knew where Tom was fast, and then it was just kind of managing Tom for the rest of the race. A friend of mine that we raced Chump Car with, Richard Fogel, he's a little bit older than us, been around the sport a lot longer. He's like, I don't know how you do it. He's like, because everyone else is always kind of looking like high strung in the car and stuff like that. And he says, you look like you're asleep in there. And so I'm not actively trying to do that, but I think that, you know, I have a lot of laps in this car, and we've, especially this weekend more than most weekends, it's pretty easy to drive. And if you're in a car that you're very comfortable with and it's the easiest to drive it's ever been, there's no reason to be stressed out in there or anything like that. Just go out there and do your thing. I think that was the best race in my entire life. And I've raced a lot of races in my life, and I think that was the best one. Best race.
I'm glad you didn't do it against me.
You hear this guy? We told each other to have the best race before that race, and I was like, that was my best race. He's like, I'm glad you didn't do it against me. That's a special one. In race 3, I was really excited. Everyone was choosing the inside and getting beat in turn 1 from the outside. It's like, haha, that was figured out. I'm going to choose the outside, and it's going to be great. And then it rained.
But I hadn't even considered this as a possibility.
Tires, sway bar setting, and then hook up the ABS and just confirm that it was working. Those guys are awesome, so they made quick work of that.
There's the night view.
And then we're standing in grid like 18 minutes before the session starts, and I'm watching the guys out there and I'm going, why are they going so fast? And I'm like, he's braking where I am.
He just broke in the 2 in the wet.
What? I brake in the 2 in the dry. And I like ask a couple of the GRIDLIFE workers, and they're like, oh yeah, it's almost the same, wet or dry. What did you just say?
Wow. It doesn't look like he's running a wet line.
Oh, there's great grip everywhere.
Well, I see all these guys in the time attack session before us, and they're just flying into turn 1, running the traditional dry line. They're like, it's not like my forte at all. I feel pretty confident on a full wet track with a very slippery dry line. And I have never felt confident in the wet on a track that is high grip. So it gave me some anxiety going into it. O'Gorman was driving the ASM S2000. He charges in turn 1 so hard. And he made the corner
corner, he was gone, and I was like, oh, all right. And then I got a pretty good run on the exit, and I got up the side of him in the 3, and then he broke super late again, and I lost the spot. I was like, this is way different than what I expected this to be. I fell back to 3rd, and him and Baton like checked out, and I was just kind of like by myself for a while. I just like kept on finding a little bit, but they were so far ahead I didn't really think that there was anything left to get. And then with like 2 to go, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm catching Tom. And I also noticed that Tony Marchev was catching me pretty aggressively, and I was like, I better get my stuff together here. Otherwise, I'm going to end up in 4th. I know that it's the last lap. I'm thinking, man, there could be a chance here. This is a possibility. And out of 14, I got a big run, and that leads onto the back straight. And then I see him get a little bit loose in the braking zone, and he gets kind of crossed up, and I was like, man, now I have a real chance. And I just rolled out of the braking a little bit, and I'm like, I'm going to try to run a slightly different line than he does. Wasn't thinking, and I made the mistake of thinking, oh, well, it'll be fine out there. And they all managed to not hit me. And disappointingly, I came home in P6. Whether I would have got 2nd or 6th or DNF or anything, it came down to if Maton passed impound in race number 3 and there was no DQ, no penalties, no nothing, that gave him the win on the season. And Maton's a good buddy of mine, and I'd be, couldn't be happier for him.
Plus 25. Down 315. So we just got 2nd.
It's very cool, and it's not a disrespect to anyone that got 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. It's just not what we're here to do. It's a tough thing when you're chasing it and it's gone. That's it. I mean, we're going to have a race tomorrow still, and that's fantastic. And big invert, 9-car invert, going to try to win it. But I don't think I ever put any thought into the fact that, on, Saturday night, Sunday morning, that's it for maybe 6 months.
Sorry, on the left side.
The championship's decided. That's over with. Let's try to now, control what we can control. Why don't we change the exhaust? We have, the titanium exhaust that weighs about 30 pounds less than the other exhaust that we had on the car. We'll run a little bit less fuel for the last one, and we'll go out trying to win the last race of the season. Racing worth it? Depends on the weekend. Depends on your luck. Depends on what you love about it. It depends on so many things. This weekend, absolutely. I was so bummed with how many laps it took me to kind of figure out that grip in the wet, and it wasn't really calling for a very wet race this morning, and I was just kind of like, man, the car was good, I was the problem. Tony Barber and James Cathers were really quick the first couple of laps, and I was just, where's their grip, where is it tough, where does it feel great? And I took I think about 2 laps to kind of figure it out, and then I was like, okay, it's game on. I got Cathers first. Man, Tony in that MR2, that K24 MR2 was flying out there. Where am I going to actually get him? Because he's not going to roll over and let me have this. He wants it bad. People that are highly competitive are not highly competitive because they want to be highly competitive. They're highly competitive because they can't help themselves. And I absolutely feel like that. Playing Mario Kart with my kids, my wife always gives me a hard time. She's like, why don't you let them win? And I'm like, I can't. I gotta win. I gotta lap them if I can. Maybe I'm training them to be like me. I hope I'm not. That could be bad. I think in some ways I would actually give up racing if I could, like, because I feel like sometimes it's really overwhelming to a person's life. The cost, the time, the heartache, there's lots of negatives when you're, competing in a racing program. But the reason why we're still here is I would feel empty without it. I don't know how my soul would function still if it weren't for racing.
The last race of the season.
The people of GRIDLIFE are incredible. There's no other racing series like it. You can't engineer this. This is like an organic thing. It's the only type of racing that I've been to that the community is so strong. So even if you are having bad race 3 and you're kind of bummed about it or whatever, that the people can kind of bring you back from that.
Wednesday at 10 when you're putting the valve cover back on. Do you think we're going to put 2 of these on this weekend?
Especially for, a highly competitive person such as myself and my entire team. Everyone wants to win. Winning fixes everything.
Alex, what do you want from me, man? What do you want?
What's that?
Are we going home?
Yeah. Yep.
Fellow competitors, just 4 during weekend is for the 2024 season.
See Alex. See Alex.
When is it time to stop racing?
I think a better question is, when is it time to change racing? So this is like the evolution of GLTC. So GLTC is 12.5 pounds per horsepower. GLGT is 8.9 pounds per horsepower. Usually what that means is it's GLTC plus about 100 wheel horsepower. What car enthusiast doesn't want more horsepower? Our plan is to not compete for the championship and just do those 3 events, try to win every race we enter, but not worry about, the implications of it. Oh, Logan, try to get your leg under there. There you go.
Let's go, buddy.
As the boys get older, I want to be able to spend more time with them, and I don't want to be away quite as much. Okay, try to stay right on that dotted line, okay? At least until maybe they get to an age where they're more excited about going to some events, and then that could change completely again. Turn. There you go, that was a good one. Turn. Hard.
Oh, we hit the wall. Want to try again?